2 years ago, we started over there in that blue building right there. About a year ago, we moved over to North Salt Lake, and we knew that was gonna be short term, so we only signed a 1-year lease there to eventually get to the final boss. We have officially moved into the Basin Upfitting 10 bay, 30,000 plus square feet shop. If you've enjoyed content that we've put out over the last few weeks, the tool tours, the equipment tours, you are going to love this one. Stay tuned to the end because we're gonna be giving away 5 of these hats at the end of the video. Let's get on with the show.
How we doing, everybody? I'm Jackknife Jim. We got Aaron here in the shop today. We're gonna do a quick lap around our shop, see what we're working with as far as...
What was that, a lasso?
A lap around, man. You do a lap around the shop. We'll go through some of the builds we've got in here, some of the tools we keep, the parts we keep on hand, different miscellaneous stuff to kind of give you a bird's eye view of what we do and why we do it.
We do a lot of custom jobs to go along with our upfitting side of our business. But for everything we're doing in-house, or prototyping, or all of our one-off jobs, we keep it simple. We use just basically a 3-axis CNC plasma table. This is something that we'd use to cut out like custom boxes, headache racks, things of that nature, all the plate work for it. And then also we have a Revolution machine tools. I think it's a 130-ton press brake. It's got a 10-foot bed. It handles pretty much most of everything that we need it to do inside the shop as far as its capabilities. We can pretty much bend full length 1/8 inch. Half the bed we can do in like 3/16. We bend up quarter, half. A lot of thick materials come off of this. But everything is designed here, typically built and processed here as far as plate work. And then actually the finished fabrication, which is welding, and all the finished work is all done in-house, 100%.
So this is Aaron's welding table.
This is not my welding table, it's my
Also
cooking table.
known as the bacon table. This right here is just pure bacon grease.
Hey.
He's cooking bacon out here all day, every day to look like this.
Hey,
so
listen.
log in.
The table's now seasoned too. We can actually, if we heated the bottom of the table, we can cook on the table. We can make bacon here, make bacon there. This thing's a road dog though. Hey, hopefully one day I can afford to upgrade this griddle. As far as welders that we have, like kind of over in our fab area, pretty simple setup here. Miller MIG, we have H&S MIG, Everlast 400 amp machine. That thing crushes it on aluminum. It's actually a fairly large TIG machine. This is pretty much mostly what we use on the day-to-day. We also have, I think, about 5 or 6 more of the Miller MIG machines throughout the shop that we use for our upfits. But in the fab area, the guys kind of just like these machines. This is what they've used every day. The Everlast, I have to say, for being what we'd consider a Chinese machine, that thing has been worth its weight in gold. I mean, super powerful machine, all the settings you can need, super stable arc, like, we love that thing. Carrying on, where are we going? Oh, iron worker, hold on. Let's touch base on an iron worker. This is what you consider a smaller, more affordable iron worker as opposed to buying like a big Edwards or something like that. Most fab shops, they'll use the iron worker for like a shear or, you know, for angle iron or flat stock. All we really use in this shop is the hole punch part of the iron worker. This machine has punched, I mean, thousands upon thousands of holes. A lot of the stuff that we're doing in-house, we don't actually want to plasma cut any of our holes just because of the tolerances we want around a bolt shank. We'll actually just go ahead and punch the holes after the fact. We'll use our plasma for point marking and we'll come through and punch each hole. This saves a ton of time on drilling. This saves a ton of time on layout, everything else. Like we can just come in here, punch our hole and be done with it. We have all the dies for this thing. We have all our round dies. I mean, all the way down to like 1/8. We have slotted dies. We have square dies for carriage bolts. That's all it took. So right now we just have a 1/4 inch round die. You run it down. Nice, perfect, clean hole. This is a Metal Pro. I forget what the tonnage is. I want to say it was a 45-ton iron worker. Cool thing about it is it can fit in a smaller shop, and then also it runs off 110, so you don't need to have a 220 circuit ran to this. You can move it around. Love this thing, it's invaluable. It's paid for itself 10 times over. It's a wheel of death. Yeah, it's a disc sander. I had this personally for quite a few years. I actually need to do some adjustments and stuff. Another invaluable tool for cleaning up edges, shaping material, stuff like that. This is a direct drive onto what I believe is a 5-horse, 3-phase motor. The disc here has been milled flat, and then it's been surfaced and then balanced. So this thing will just sit here chugging along, spinning forever and ever and ever. Foot switch, so you have your 2-hand operation. You're not flipping the thing on or doing whatever. You have your piece of material in your hands, walk up, go, and off you go. Great tool. One of the worst parts of any fab shop, and I'm sure you know any of the guys that worked in a fab shop, is organization and consumables. Consumables are always a nightmare to get to. What we've started going through and implementing just in our direct like little fab area here is We're going through down to your flat discs, the ones we use, you know, a lot. They have their own bin, labeled. Cutoff wheels have their own bin. Ceramic disc, instead of using like a black stone or using a flat disc to remove material, these do it in like half the time. A lot more affordable than flat discs. They last a lot longer. So this saves a ton of labor time having these. They run a hard rubber backer like that on basically a 4.5 or a 5-inch hand grinder. If you guys haven't messed with these and you're still using flat discs to shape things or remove material, clean, blend welds, whatever else, this actually is a Harbor Freight brand Hercules ceramic disc. This is, I think, an 80 grit. They have a 40, I believe. I'd normally use the 40, but those things kick ass. We're not a body shop, but we do a lot of metal work. So sandpaper is definitely always being used in the shop. We normally use a lot of 40 grit for shaping metal. After we get done, you know, flat disking and getting like a weld blend grinded, we'll move over to a DA sander, and then we have all of our grits all the way to 220 so we can finish out our metal work. We come in here, we keep tungsten for our miller, so 035 tips, 030 tips, Tweako gun on our H&S, welding hoods, angle finders, everything else. We stock them. We have minimum quantities. One of our guys, Taylor, basically I saw his toolbox. He put together a relatively inexpensive toolbox setup for himself, but the thing was super organized, super efficient. And when I saw his organization skills, I was like, hey man, let's start applying that to our consumables. And so he's kind of led up, you know, getting us here. This is only 1 week in, and he's starting to clean all this stuff up. It's another thing that Taylor's going through and getting us dialed in on. We have our DA sanders typically, and all of our hand grinders would be placed here at the end of the day. So we work with a bunch of different materials, whether it's stainless, aluminum, carbon, whatever it may be, right? What Taylor's done is basically just set us up. Everything is labeled by what filler rod it is and by what diameter it is. So you can just come over here. It's like, oh, I'm gonna be doing some aluminum. You can grab the tube, take it out in the shop, or you come get what you need, and everything's here, done, ready to go. It's right at your fingertips as it should be. Fire extinguishers right here in the fab area next to our fabrication table. In the past, like prior to like 8 years ago, most guys would go out and get like a Blanchard ground cast iron table for doing anything flat as far as that goes. There's been quite a few companies that have done this interlocking design. This one in particular is a Certiflat weld tables. We absolutely love this thing. One, it's affordable. It's huge and easy to put together. It can be shipped, so they shipped this whole table to us. When we first started off in the blue building, I think me and Cole put this together, and some of Cole's first welds are all underneath this thing, thankfully. It has, I think 16 millimeter or 5/8, whatever flavor you prefer, holes in it. We use these to fixture whatever parts we're making down, square things up. Right now we just have backing plate for a headache rack for one of the beds we're modifying. This is getting cleaned up and prepped. Yeah, that's all we have on the table right now. Moving along here shortly, I think we're gonna upgrade to a bigger manual lathe and then also just a bigger knee mill. We don't have a mill here right now, so I'm having to run to other shops, but that's something we're gonna get up into our facility so we can have those. It's something that we've kind of came across where we know we need a mill here. So this lathe's been pretty useful. I mean, we make just small bushings or whatever we need for whatever we're building at the time. We also use it to clean up tubing for roll cages or anything like that, to where we want the tube completely cleaned. We're gonna be TIG welding it, so we'll actually chuck up our tubing in here and polish it out with Scotch-Brite. On builds like our TRX, all the tubing's been prepped in this lathe right here. Wiring, bolt bends, kind of a little bit of a mess right now. We're kind of going through and cleaning some of this up. Obviously we have our friends at Raise Fasteners come through. They supply our bolt bends. We have a section of some abrasives over here that Raise Fasteners maintains for us, as well as our direct, little wiring spool cart here. A lot of little specialty shit. All of our drill bits are over here. Right now it's kind of a mess, like I said. We're starting to get this all organized and dialed in. This is just basically, we always have to have bolts, when we're putting stuff together. Sometimes whenever we're, building something that's big and has a whole bunch of hardware on it, or has specific spec'd hardware for whatever the component is, we'll do our mock-up with our bolt bends, and then we'll end up ordering in, just have our guy over at Raise Fasteners bring in our specialty bolts, whether we need a special shank or whatever else, or mass quantities, and we'll have him bring that in separately as we're coming out of the fabrication process. more into assembly. This is a little bit of our fab area. I'm sure if you watched our channel, you've seen us building a lot of stuff in this area, or out in these two bays right here that we typically work out of. The upfit side of the company is all done out of the bays from here on down. These two bays more specific for more of the custom stuff and all the fabrication. Now we've seen that, we'll actually just go through and kind of look at one of the custom jobs we're putting together right now. This bed concept is actually a job that Jim is working on with a company out of New Mexico, and he can tell us more about that.
Like Aaron was saying, we've got a custom Bedrock Granite Series Plus flatbed here that we're building for one of my customers. These guys are a natural gas provider. They, when you turn your hot water heater on or your stove in your house with natural gas, these guys service all those lines. And so they needed a custom welding truck that was big enough to fit all of their welding reels in one cabinet, bottles in the other cabinet, and then they needed the welder to be set up to draw out of the diesel fuel tank so they don't have a guy climbing up in the back to fuel it up all the time. So we had this bed in stock. It had short boxes. These boxes were only that tall. So Aaron went ahead, cut these boxes completely out. We went to a 60-inch high custom box on here. So this box is gonna have these welding reels up above, oxygen acetylene reels, a power reel, and an air reel down here. And it's all gonna run off of a Van Air multi-process unit. They'll run their welder, their compressor, their generator, all at the same time. Another thing he did on this, he added a notch in the back. They'll set that pipe on there. We'll have a vise out here where he can hold different pieces, elbows, whatever he's welding on there. Set his pipe in there, hold his piece here. He can sit and weld it up right here on the curb side of the truck. So he's parked on the street, he's gonna be out of traffic, doing whatever repairs he's doing and whatnot. This is gonna go on a Ram 5500 crew cab with a 60-inch cab to axle. Normally we just go with an 84 and we'd have tons of room up here. They needed it short because they get into a bunch of neighborhoods, needed it to be a little bit more maneuverable. So this is kind of the platform we went with. What were the major challenges on this, Aaron, as far as the boxes? And
with such a big welder or multi-process unit like we're putting on it, one of the bigger challenges was space for fitting reels, fitting bottles, fitting everything into the cabinets. We're actually running a Hannay reel on this cabinet. And one of the things you might not see if you first glance at it is this box actually has a bigger depth than that box over there. And the reason for that is so the Hannay reel can fit in here and they could run, essentially a real big spool of lead, a big heavy duty reel unit, and it still fit in the box. So the top side of the boxes, this is actually, I think, about 3 inches bigger in depth that way, and that one's 3 inches in shallower in depth. The reason why we'd have to do the offset instead of just running two bigger boxes is because we have to clear the components on the OEM frame. So if you have, say we're putting this on a Ram 5500, you have the leaf spring perches that come off the side of the frame rail. So the bottom end of the boxes have to be able to clear the leaf perches, and you still need to be able to service, obviously, the truck when the bed's on it. The customer has just a lot of gear that actually has to go in. They want the oxyacetylene bottles to be, locked up and stored. They want all their reels locked up and stored inside cabinets out of the weather. One of the nice things about this is you can pull up to a job site or whatever else, do all your work and then roll everything up. You can go drive home or to the hotel room in a bad neighborhood. Everything's locked up. No one's getting to these boxes. So all of your gear, instead of having like a typical welding truck where you got reels hung off the side, you might have some of the copper pirates, as I like to call them, will spool your reel out, take it off, and run down the scrapyard. That's not possible with a setup like this. Another key benefit that they have with this setup is they can also tow a gooseneck trailer with this bed style. So
yeah, so this operator that runs this truck, he pulls a backhoe. We've got a custom ordered Diamond C triple dually gooseneck trailer to go with this. It should be here in a few weeks. So he's gonna be able to drag out, dig up the gas line, repair it, bury it, compact it, put it all back to the way it was. So this is kind of a concept we're building for him. Hoping to do a whole bunch of these down the road. Aaron's done a great job so far. He's still got some challenges, still got to build these doors, a little bit of flat work and hinges, locks, and all that kind of stuff.
So actually, our guy Ryan's been over, he just grabbed a small machine today. He said, hey, I'm welding 1/8-inch boxes. Why not just run the Vulcan? This thing's been kicking around for what, a year, guys? It's been getting worked pretty hard.
800 bucks, no big deal.
800 bucks, it's paid for itself. You don't always need to go out and buy the most expensive tools.
Here's another custom build we've got going through. This is a mobile hose repair van. A lot of these big, heavy equipment companies will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on hydraulic hoses. I grew up on a farm. We're 20 minutes out of town. So if my dad blows a hydraulic hose on his tractor, He's got to take that hydraulic hose off, take it to town, get it rebuilt, take it back home. He's at about an hour turnaround if on a good day. Probably more like 2 hours of downtime. And then usually what happens is you get back to the farm and go to put that hose on and they put a wrong end on it, or it's this much too short and it doesn't fit. And so he's got to go back to town. He's another hour or two. This is kind of the solution for that. So this van is built to roll up to a job site. Say we've got an excavator operator out there. He blew a hydraulic hose. He calls the boss, says, hey, man, I'm blowing oil everywhere. My thumb hose, whatever's got a crack in the elbow. They dispatch this van. The dude cruises out to the job site, parks there, and then he's got a full setup in here. He's got storage bins with all the fittings, got the hose, got everything he needs. Aaron's gonna give you a quick walk around.
One of the things is obviously you need all your equipment, a good workbench to work off of. We did our own reinforced top here with a trough for them to do their hose assembly on. We have a Wilton vise down at the other end, obviously used for the hose assembly. Parker supplied us with their crimping machine. Back here we'll have all of your fittings go, they'll be organized in the bins, and then you'll also be able to hold all your die sets for your crimping machine. If you step up in here, we'll kind of show you how we powered this thing. So the idea is you have your hydraulic hoses on spools up here, and these are going to be your most used sizes, will be up top here. You roll out your hose to length, put it in the saw, you cut it, and then you move on and assemble your ends, and then you'll head over to your crimp machine and obviously crimp your hose ends on, and then bam, you have a hydraulic hose. One of the trickier things with having a van like this is you either need to be able to power everything off of a generator, or you can run a power inverter and run off a battery. One of the downfalls of the generator is you're dealing with having to take this thing out of the van, so you're not dealing with carbon monoxide issues of running a generator, obviously, where your work area is. And then also if you rolled up to, let's say, like, I don't know, a parking garage or anywhere enclosed that doesn't have good ventilation, you got to figure out a place to put the generator, string out your cord, do all that stuff. So what we prefer to do is to just run onboard power through an inverter. So what we do have is a 12 volt system that is running a 5,000 watt inverter that runs our equipment. Basically here is where you turn on your 5,000 watt inverter. That inverter is being powered by 4 280 amp hour lithium iron batteries, just shy of 1200 amp hour battery. So this should last a long time running this equipment in here. Now our 110 outlets are live in the van. You could also plug in whatever other power tools you have. It's just gonna run our hydraulic unit, our saw, and also our small pancake compressor. They use that compressor to clean out their van with compressed air, clean out their hoses, whatever else uses they have with compressed air. They can grab that at any point or just pull their hose out and go. It's easily removable, so they can take it out and drain it outside of the van, obviously. I'd have to say it's probably laid out as efficiently as it can be laid out. It's not too small. You feel like you got plenty of room in here. Get what you need readily available, build it, and then out it goes and goes on a piece of equipment, gets you guys back up and working. A lot of times too, once you break into a hydraulic system, let's say if I have one hydraulic hose leak, 9 times out of 10, there's a bunch of other hydraulic hoses on whatever my piece of equipment is. They're right at their failure point, cracked hoses, fittings that are starting to get old and leaky. So whenever the van's out there, you replace one hose and be like, hey man, this one's looking pretty bad too. Let's get that one replaced, and then your piece of equipment isn't gonna go down in the next month over another hydraulic leak. It's all done right there on site, back up and working, and have peace of mind really, so.
This is kind of our specialty. If you're in the heavy industrial space and you need a hose reel van or anything like this, let us know. We can get these in and get them built pretty quick. Turnaround time on these is usually less than a week or two. We can do mobile hoses, we can do lube vans. We can get you lined up with a dealer to get you a van purchased, all that good stuff, and we're ready to roll.
All right, so you guys probably saw earlier days on the Basin Nation channel, we put together Green Ram Rebel. Originally was for David Sparks. He used it, had a blast with it, everything else.
This is so sick. This is literally everything that you could ever want in a truck.
Now it's back underneath our umbrella, which we're thankful to have it. Our owner, David Haslam's daily driver, super useful. It's got storage space. It's got the Carly kit, drives nice, rides nice, great on and off road. One of the things I want to talk about was we don't have post lifts in the shop. One, they kind of clog up a lot of space for our upfitting. A lot of times we can get 2 to 3 trucks in one truck bay. If we had post lifts, we'd be working around them trying to navigate that. So What we utilize is these Sterling coatings. Essentially, it's a wheel lift. As you can see here, they're rated at 18,500 pounds. Now that's per lift. So essentially, we have just shy of 80,000 pound lifting capability out of these 4-post lifts. These all connect together via Wi-Fi. They have all the safety features you would have with any other lift. They have positive locks on them. They auto level as you raise a vehicle, so they maintain the same height as they're going up. Just in case one's hydraulic speed's faster than the other, it slows it down, brings the other one, and it completely lifts a vehicle levelly, no matter what kind of ground you're on. Obviously, you don't want to be lifting a vehicle up on the side of a hill, but we use these anytime we need to get something up in the air, check things out. Obviously, these aren't the best choice for doing like suspension and chassis work. It's where you'd want to lift something up by the chassis and not the axles or the wheels and tires. But for like doing PTO installations or routing hydraulic hoses and dressing out all your wiring, these are awesome because we can roll them up to a vehicle, lift it up, and then we can put them back in the storage area. So you have almost like a pallet jack mechanism. So you can roll them around and then you release it, it sets on the ground, you have a nice stable footprint. The cool thing with the storage is you're only taking up, essentially a 3.5 or 4 foot area. And you put these up against the wall out of the way. So this is more like the bread and butter section. So more custom stuff is gonna happen on this side of the shop and over. And then a lot of the repeat builds, which are, our contractor bodies, our flatbeds, all of those are done right here, and this is where they're upfitted. On this side of the shop, we have overhead bridge crane. This assists our techs in basically setting beds, efficiently and safely. So these 3 bays here are all utilized for setting beds, and then obviously the main truck upfits. These bays, we kind of we'll either set a bed and bring the truck over here, finish it out, or we'll do vans or whatever else on these other 2 bays here. These guys have a decent amount of what you'd consider fabrication equipment stuff. They have their own iron worker over here. They have their own bandsaw, their own little saw line. So they have a lot of the stuff right here readily in their work area. If you look over to your right, they have all of their consumables, all of their bolts and everything that they're gonna use while they're doing their truck upfits. And all of this is essentially located so they can crank these things out efficiently, so we don't have a whole bunch of build time. Customer puts in an order, they got everything right on hand and they're cranking them out, maintaining a high quality while they're doing it. So
down on this end, we keep our mobile columns. If we need to lift something up in the air, they stick right here. And then these last 2 bays on the north side of our shop are where they have the wrap shop. We have a printer and a graphic design team, everything in here in-house. So you can send us your logo in a file, or you can send us your concepts or ideas, or they can even draw one up for you. So yeah, we got a van in here getting a wrap for an electric company. I didn't know we did minivans, but there's a minivan. Got a truck, someone's getting their camp trailer wrapped, and then there's a pickup here, getting some decal, looks like paint match done. So give us a shout, we can get you guys in, get you scheduled, take it in from start to finish, and have you working as quick as possible. Okay, we're out in the back 40, we call it. It's kind of our staging and storage area. We got a big locked yard with a security guard that's out here all night. So we've got stacks of service bodies out there. We've got pallet racking with compressors and snow plows and mounts and bumpers, all that kind of stuff. We keep our trailers in here. Customer vehicles, when they show up and they're waiting to go in the shop, we'll keep them parked and locked in here. These are vehicles that are either waiting to go in the shop today, tomorrow, the next day, or they're vehicles that are waiting to get picked up by a customer. We got some transit vans, a Ram ProMaster. You probably saw the Captain Comfortable video we did a little while ago with a customer that bought a crane body on one of these. He called me back and said, hey, I want the exact same truck with a gooseneck combo body. So this one's getting a Knapheide PGT-D combo body. So it's got the high front boxes, step down with flip up lids, and you can still pull a gooseneck trailer. Then you see we've got a giant stack of pickup beds here. So 90% of the trucks we bring in are a pickup. So we'll take the bed off, put on a service body or flatbed, whatever it may be, send it out. So if you need a takeoff bed, give us a shout. We'll give you a smoking deal on one.
this is a small portion of the beds that we have, yes.
There's another
This is a sample.
75 of them out there,
Yeah, it's a
probably.
little sample stack here. Please come by these.
Get them out of here.
No. Over on the other side here's a paved lot that we used for truck staging. We're going through and moving stuff around. So if you guys remember over here, we started doing like the fabrication stuff in what we call it the blue building, which is this building that's over here on the corner. This lot here is in between our facility that we're out of now and the blue building that we once were in. We're still in possession of the blue building, but the blue building is going through a construction phase right now. Tentatively right now, we're looking at upfitting vans out of that building and actually moving and doing more of our custom fabrication manufacturing stuff over out of that facility. So right now you can see that this lot's just being used for staging. We have a couple hundred van contract with the ProMasters right now that we're building all this out. So we're staging the vans here, and then we're running them over to our other facility across the street where we're doing the bulk of our van upfits. And this is a very, very small portion of the amount of vans that we have.
So we've got a 7-acre parking lot down the street here. Great big fenced area, all paved. And they've got these vans stacked in there shoulder to shoulder from one end to the other between these lots and the dealer lot down here. I'll bet there's somewhere between 300 and 500 vans coming and going, and probably 50 to 100 trucks sitting here ready to be built.
So the blue building was, I'd say it was the origin of the Basin channel, really. It's where we landed. I came back from California, and this is the piece of prime real estate they had, and said, let's build some stuff. I mean, the blue building was, it was a little rough, especially in wintertime. I spent many of nights sleeping on the office floor.
What was the rough part? The rats or the
rats.
cold? The cold.
The cold and the rats. I think it was a joint effort between them to get together and just make my life uncomfortable. We always had the plan that the blue building was going to evolve with the business. Basin Upfitting and you know, our sister companies, King Bee and Apex Wraps, we all just need more room is what it comes down to. So whenever this came up, our owner obviously acquired this property so it can, you know, become a part of obviously the facility that we have right there across the lot. The plan was to essentially keep the steel structure of that building, because this was originally a big industrial fab shop. It has 2 big overhead cranes, and the steel structure of the building is just, it's awesome. So right now they're doing all the dirt work, foundation work for the expansion, as well as they're going to be stripping off the exterior of this building, and then the architects, you know, gone through and drew out the new facility with full pass-through bays and a lot of cool features. So I can't wait to see this start coming together, but this is kind of where the whole Basin channel started, was right here with a very not level concrete floor and rats. There was definitely rats in this place.
All right, as you can see, we've got a lot of stuff on the ground that's pre-built and ready to go. Over the past few years, one of the major challenges for getting a mechanic's truck or a KUV or something like that was lead times. Like, man, you'd order a truck, it'd take 6 months to get your chassis. We try to keep a handful of these things built on the ground. Service bodies, vans, pickups, mechanics trucks, all that kind of stuff. We've got some on hand. So if you need any of that kind of stuff, get with us. We'll get you lined up, get you a quote, get you financing, get you whatever you need. See if we can make this whole world go around a little bit easier.
All right, like I promised, we're gonna be giving away 5 hats in these comments. The only thing I want you to do is go comment your favorite build that we have built on the Basin channel. Like I said, guys, it's been 2 years since we've started. We've got the Green Ram Rebel, we got the 6x6, we got the Titan 38, we've got the hauler. We've got a lot of builds that we've showed you on the channel. Go comment what your favorite one is and why. You might have a hat headed your way. So thank you.